All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Void Podcast. My name is Brennan.
My name is Tyler.
And we are joined today by one of our very favorite people in the world.
Debatable.
I love you, Zachary. Zachary, go ahead and give people 10 seconds, no more, on who you are.
I'm Zachary. I'm a senior at a local school, and I go to youth here. So I've been interning for the last couple of months. So.
Senior in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, we love Zachary. Excited by him on the podcast because Zachary has some hot takes on some things.
He does.
And this episode, it's kind of a spur of the moment one, but I'm pumped, man.
Dude, me too.
Take us there. Take us to the deep.
I love talking
Tyler.
about this because these are conversations that we have like on a daily basis, and we had kind of got into it a little bit last week with us three. So I was like, why don't we like unpack this conversation? And I guess I don't know what we'll title the episode. Maybe like AI.
We'll find out.
Or like something, but that's kind of what the topic of today is going to be that I'd love to get y'all's input on is like AI, artificial intelligence, medicine, like this Neuralink stuff that's going around, like with the chip in the brain and all these monkeys and all that stuff. Like, I guess the underlying question is how far is too far. And when I say AI, I mean obviously artificial intelligence, like a computer or a process that has like scary human ability, whether it's like altering genetic code or like a chip into your brain. So
not just
chew on that.
Not just generic AI.
No, I don't mean like the Facebook chat AI. I'm talking about like, talking about like
iRobot AI.
Yes.
Like Terminator vibes. Right?
Yes. Have you seen iRobot?
No, I haven't.
Oh man. Yeah, iRobot, where these robots who are like nurses and like soldiers and the greatest thing that ever happened since sliced bread, they all like turn red and go bad and start killing people. Yeah, that kind of AI. Because I'll just start it off by saying I'm more on the camp of, dude, I'm pro AI. Put a chip in my brain. And it's strange too because I'm also like a bona fide conspiracy theorist. But when it comes to AI, dude,
you're cool with the chip.
Oh, absolutely. Put a chip in my brain, dude. Drive my car for me, like I don't care, dude. Do all that stuff. All it is an improved quality of life. And my beef with people who are like, oh, I don't trust robots, I don't trust machines or whatever. Okay, I get it, Carol. Like you want the human discernment factor and all that stuff, and you're scared that a robot's gonna like take over your life. But anything that's been programmed, it's just it's so mathematically consistent. I think a self-driving car, and like Tesla, dude. Did you know Tesla? The new, maybe it's like the S model. I don't know.
The cheap
newest.
One?
No, the newest one.
Oh.
Like the one they just made. It had the best safety ratings of any vehicle tested ever in history. I mean, it scored like 100% on every single category. And it's self-driving.
I found this article. Once I found out we were talking about AI, I just was like, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes just to get up to speed on, who's doing what.
Right.
Found this article, which, I mean, it took me 5 minutes to realize this source is not highly credible, but their thought pattern was interesting. Yeah. And here's what it was saying was basically that AI is ushering in a new era of science that is beyond the normal process that is hypothesize, put to the test, and then evaluate.
I like your use of hypothesize there. That was awesome.
No,
it was good.
Was it strong? Did it make me sound smart?
It did.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was going for. But they were saying that AI is getting to a place of where now there's no longer this season of science and testing where it's like, okay, we think this could happen. Yeah. Let's try to eliminate some factors. Let's test it. Okay, this didn't work. This didn't work. Let's fix this. This worked. And then we redo it. They're like, no, AI is kind of like, no, it just does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. See, that's it for me. Like, it eliminates all variables. I know you have like human discernment and all that. Like in iRobot, one of the scenes is like the robot goes down and it sees Will Smith, who it like does a body scan, and he has like a 24% chance of survival. Then it scans the girl who has like a 7% chance of survival. So it saves Will Smith instead of the kid. Okay, that's fine. And like that is important.
Would you want to know your percentage though?
Oh, of course. I'm a want to know. I'm a red pill kind of guy all day long. Tell me what the percentage is. But
We're back to the red pill.
yeah, back to the
Matrix again.
back to the. It always comes back to the Matrix, Zachary. It's back to the pills all the time.
We're in it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think that and I actually got into a debate with somebody about this yesterday, which is what was so funny. We all draw lines somewhere. For some people, it's medicine. Some people, it's genetics. For some people, it's AI. But I don't really have any lines in terms of technology because I think that everything is everything can be scary and it can be misused. Well, then just take away everyone's vehicle because a vehicle can be crashed and all that stuff. But the whole concept of playing God. See, we were talking about CRISPR technology, which is kind of CRISPR technology is basically it's the reason it's so controversial is because it's a highly successful, revolutionary medicine, but it's DNA altering. What it does is it changes your genetic code and makes you prone to things like, cancer, Down syndrome, growth deficiencies, all that stuff. It can eliminate that before you're even born. And so, but what it can also do is make sure you have blue eyes. It can make you taller. It can get rid of, it can
Wow.
So with eliminating things like cancer and sickle cell and all these horrible diseases comes what they're calling designer babies. Yeah. And so I get the fear. But I mean, got to be good, right? It's got to be.
I think I can see where someone would say, "Oh, it's playing God," but I'm with you in the sense of there's certain things that you don't care. You're not gonna if you feel like it's gonna save your life, or if the quality of life that it's gonna bring you is significantly better than the one that you have.
Yeah.
You're not gonna really care.
What about stuff like that doesn't enhance quality of life, like changing eye color or whatever? What are your thoughts on that, Tyler?
I mean, I wouldn't change it. And honestly, CRISPR is one of those things to where I personally, I wouldn't, if they told me your kid you have a gene that makes them 70% more likely to get cancer or whatever, I'm going to err on the safe side of playing God and just say don't alter anyone's DNA. But I don't think it should be illegal. I think it should be if it's a resource that we have. So I think it should be up to the individual. So I wouldn't use CRISPR, but I also think that it should be allowed. I mean, you're saying, to someone like us, or to people like us who are generally healthy, it's don't play God. What about somebody with, I
don't have an arm.
Right.
But you can grow. You can grow an arm
exactly.
back. Yeah.
And this goes back to the. I think when you talk about AI, you got to talk about Neuralink because it's the hottest one right now. And if y'all know what Neuralink is,
no, inform us.
So Elon Musk, it's been this thing he's been promising since 2016. And what it is, it's the brain chip. Have you heard of that? Yeah, it's the brain chip. It's a literal Bluetooth chip that goes into your brain. And so I know what I watched in a YouTube video a year ago and high school. So this can't be wrong. I know it's 100% reliable. So there's these things in your brains called electrodes, and they're what sends a signal. So the way the body works is there's someone that actually knows, and they're gonna roast me in the comments.
Yeah, email Tyler, not me.
Because this is probably 50% accurate, but electrodes is this signal your body sends. Then it goes to your nervous system. Then it goes to your muscles. So your brain sends a signal for your body to move or whatever. There's a lot of people that their nervous system is damaged or some of those pathways are damaged. What Neuralink does is it's actually two. Most people don't. I didn't know that until I started researching it. It's two chips. One goes in your brain. One goes in your spine or somewhere in your nervous system. And the only scary part about Neuralink, well, there's a lot of scary parts about it, but the scariest part is that it has 1,000 little tentacles, metal tentacles, and it's so precise because it ties into the electrodes in your brain. A machine has to perform the surgery because a human can't do it. So it links to your brain.
No, fam.
Wait, let me keep going though. It links to your dude. I'm chip me, and here's why. It links to your brain, and it's literally just Bluetooth, which is crazy. One links to your brain, one links to your nervous system. And whereas some people if you have brain damage or if you have a nervous, and you I'm trying to Parkinson's, for example, is what it could be 100% cured by this because your brain is not sending the right signals. So you put the chip in, and when you try to move your arm, the Neuralink picks up that signal and it bypasses your nervous system and goes straight to the muscle and moves your arm normally. So that's what Neuralink can do. Which when I see that, I'm dude, put a chip in everybody. Honestly,
here's what would happen.
Yeah, tell me what would happen.
Here's what would happen. You're putting Bluetooth technology in somebody's brain. You know what that means?
That means Spotify is coming right there.
That means
Hey, that's
that's a pro.
that's the Neuralink Plus plan. You get Spotify.
That's
in.
a pro. But you know what is a big con? The ability to have your brain hacked.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also like, who's gonna hack your brain? See, that's the thing. Even Elon Musk said this. Right now, a potential downside is someone could potentially gain control of your entire body.
Exactly.
But
Who
hey,
knows it's gonna happen? Like,
dude,
If somebody
it
wants
depends
to
on who it
hack
is.
my iCloud, like
yeah,
I'm a youth pastor in Tennessee. What do you have to gain from hacking my
yeah.
iCloud? Let alone my brain.
right. Well, that's the thing too. It depends on what someone wants to do. But I trust the technology to make defensive measures. But I mean, anything can be hacked. It's like, with pros there comes cons, and like I would say is, you got to take the good with the bad. Like, dude, that's why I'm like, chip me, dude. All you got to do is watch the YouTube video, and this is like, I think it was last year, 2021. You know the game Pong, the super old game where there's the two bars
Yeah.
and the ball. Dude, there is a legit monkey. He's playing Pong without a controller. And they did it to demonstrate like what it could do. He's looking at the screen and he's playing Pong without a controller. Dude, chip me like right now.
all I'm saying is there's someone off screen.
Yeah.
No, dude. There's this lady that typed an email with one. She literally typed an email because it was brain learned her electrodes with her body, then Bluetooth to the screen. She typed an email, bro. Look it up. I swear. I'm not, dude. Look it
Yeah.
up,
Keyboard,
Dude.
actually.
bro.
Dude.
Look it up.
Here, I'm gonna go back to the
I'm
hacking.
100% sure that's.
The world is too crazy right now for me to download my consciousness onto some cloud and risk that. Here's what's interesting about AI, because I love military stuff. Lockheed Martin, which produces most of military AI, drones, the like. That's kind of like their bread and butter.
Yeah.
Is that technology, and their whole point is that if we can develop AI to a certain level, which they do, and they've really just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But the whole reason is we can reduce human casualties
For sure.
by flying unmanned missions.
Yeah.
But Lockheed Martin is not the only company that's doing that. They're not the only American company that's doing that.
Yeah.
Other countries are doing that. So here's where I'm getting. You're like, Brennan, this is a long way
Yeah.
to get to where you're going. Wars will begin to be fought digitally.
Sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
So what does that mean for human beings if everything moves into the same space where it's no longer a stream of consciousness or kind of a face-to-face relationship, where it's now everything is AI driven?
We call those esports, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'm a huge esports fan. Well, see, the thing about Neuralink is, though, and let me blow y'all's mind with this, you can just turn it off. Just turn it off. It doesn't take over your body. Like, it's just a tool for your body to use. I mean, you don't put the chip in and you're like, that's it. You're a just lifeless drone. Like, you could legit just put, it's battery powered, dude. Battery. It is battery powered.
I almost got real spiritual, but I'm not.
Dude. Yeah, sermon illustration. Save it for later. No, but I think too, and it's like worth talking about from a Christian perspective. See, I think it's apples and oranges. I think Jesus would take the Neuralink and just put a chip right in. I mean, he wouldn't need it, but like, dude,
Tyler's going to put his chips in the camp that Jesus
and
will take the Neuralink.
what I'm really worried is that like someone's listening to this episode and they hear me right now as like the government trusting blue pill guy, which is literally that's the exact opposite of everything about me.
No, that's just reserved for me.
Dude, yeah, that's you. That's not me. No, I'm conspiracy all the way. Will somebody hack one at some point? Probably. But will like hundreds and thousands of people be like healed and be able to perform in ways like, dude, hearing, eyesight, like all that stuff? It is a future, man. And what I don't want to be a 75-year-old person who's like, I don't trust any of that stuff, while the world is just totally outpacing me. And while everyone else is like living life to the technological fullest, and I'm standing on my principles and I'm saying I ain't getting that chip, and everybody else is floating around and, playing ping pong in their head and doing all this cool stuff. But I'm over here like just standing on my convictions. Nah, bro, give me the chip.
Do I have to be moving with the wave of technology, though, to live life to the fullest?
I mean, not to your fullest, but to the fullest.
So there's a definition of the fullest.
Oh, for sure. Well, think about like someone who doesn't know, like say Chick-fil-A, someone who doesn't know they exist. They don't know what they're missing, but like they're missing out on Chick-fil-A. So like, not to like, it's an example. I'm not saying Chick-fil-A is like the greatest or anything like that, but if you have Chick-fil-A and then you have it taken away from you, it's like, well, I'm not living my life to the fullest. But you could potentially be missing out on something that would improve your quality of life. You just don't know it, so you don't even think it. So like, yes and no. Back to the whole red pill, blue pill conversation. Surprised that I'm taking it there. When you take the blue pill, you don't even know what you're missing. When you take the red pill, then you know, and then it's a struggle. So like, you're even being blue pill right now when you're saying like, oh, I'm not gonna miss out.
I'm not convinced that you need to move in that direction.
You definitely don't need to. I wouldn't say you need to, but why wouldn't you? Dude, you can play ping pong. You can play pong with a monkey, bro. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
You're really stuck on the monkey.
Dude, seriously, I can play pong with a monkey, dude.
If Pong is the best thing that can come from it,
That's Chick-fil-A for you.
Dude, if I underwent the procedure, I like began the clinical trials and I underwent the procedure and it was life changing and cost me all this money and all that stuff, just to play pong with a monkey, it would for sure be worth it, dude. Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Would your wife say the same thing?
Oh, definitely not, dude. She doesn't. She's on the super like far paranoid side of this. She doesn't trust any of this. So when I'm like telepathically doing all this stuff around our house, she's gonna be sitting there with her arms crossed, like scoffing at me, and I'm gonna be way ahead of her. That's how I feel about it.
Play pong with a controller.
Now let me say this too, and this is another topic of debate. I guess back to the whole AI thing, and this is where I would say I think this, but do y'all is technology is more trustworthy than humans? Like, what would you say to that? Because that is ultimately where it stems from. Because like 50 plus, the older generation generally doesn't trust technology. Like, dude, my dad doesn't trust Google Maps. I mean, so like.
Yeah. I think I would say yes and no. Yes, because there are certain things that automation just can do better than humans at a certain level. Which I know if anybody's listening to this that has any idea of our nation's economy, they're like, shut up. Don't talk about automation. Need more jobs. But, I mean, their margin of error is less.
100%, dude.
But, I forget who wrote this. They broke like AI into 4 different categories. And one of the categories was self-aware. Basically, the only difference in human beings and other things is streams of consciousness, ability to relate, self-aware, which AI is quickly getting there.
Yeah.
That is the point where I would say, no, I would trust the discernment of a human being, especially the discernment of a spiritual human being over AI.
But see, that's like where you're right, but also it's already happening. I mean, there's already so much corruption, and like take Big Pharma for example. And this is not gonna.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not gonna go here because I don't got time. Limiting myself to 60 seconds. But what Big Pharma, I'm not gonna say the government. What Big Pharma has done is literally create. They have absolutely made up fake medicine, say sugar water that you, not me, you guys, take, but no, that we all take and have just completely jacked the price of it because they say that we need it. Again, I'm not going to go there, but the food industry is the same thing. Someone in 1985 wrote a book about the food pyramid. Now we're all slaves to it, even though half of it's just complete BS. So that's what I'm saying. That's already happening. People are already lying. People are already using people for profit. I mean, I think a computer is less likely to do it. I always think that the programmer has the ability, like the movies and stuff that depict AI is like this thing that we can't stop. Drinking that Sprite, I'm burping. Hang on.
It's got you.
Dude, I think the movies that depict AI as this thing that's like unstoppable and just determines that, oh, we're going to get rid of humans. It's way better. I'm pretty sure there's a way you could program that out. I mean, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, the idea that like they're going to get so smart they're
Yeah.
going to kill us all.
I feel like you could program it to where it won't ever do that. Because it's going to be subject to this program.
But I think the theory of AI is that it will get to a point where it's no longer subject to its program because it's evolved past the point of human intelligence.
I feel like we could make it to where that couldn't happen. Maybe we couldn't, but I feel like there would be some kind of, this is like my, software engineer speaking, some kind of program jargon we could put in there. Program like caveat, if you will, to like say, hey, don't take over the world. Right.
Yeah.
And I know it could go around and all that stuff, but
Self-destruct button.
I guess, yeah, exactly. My whole thing is like I would trust equipment. Like, dude, take self-driving cars, for example. I know people that are scared of those. Oh, I ain't never having a self-driving car. Really? Like, the same people that like have been in 4 crashes and like text and drive all the time. If every car was like a Tesla or a self-driving, this isn't sponsored by Tesla. If every car was like a self-driving car, dude, I mean, nobody would ever crash. Nobody would ever crash. There wouldn't be people not using blinkers. There wouldn't be road rage. I mean, right or
I'm telling
wrong?
you, dude, if Tesla like charging stations were more accessible, I would sell a kidney to get one.
Dude, they're not even that expensive. The bottom one, the Model T, is like starts like 32 or 35, and like no oil change. Never got to replace the brakes. Like there's almost no maintenance.
And it drives itself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
dude.
cool.
I saw a video that convinced me where this person's driving, and it was like right after they started selling them, and this thing's driving, and it has a crash warning where it goes like beep beep beep, and then like stops. It's like crash whatever. So it's like, let me use this. Oh, never mind. It's going to get an audio. You have like car, and then another car. So the Tesla's behind a truck. All of a sudden it goes beep, 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 and stops. And the guy's like, what the heck? Then like 3 seconds later, the car in front of him crashes in front of the car in front of them. Dude, that is the kind of stuff, that is the kind of like stuff that these machines and this like AI can do. There's just no way you can. I get the fear. I really do. I know I'm like making fun of people that are scared of AI, but I get it. But there's no way you can tell me the world would be better off if we had machines and AI doing everything. There's just no way. There's no way you can convince me of that.
I get what you're saying with the world could be better off, and I'm not even saying I disagree. I think I might agree, but I do think it's so new. And it's so uncharted.
Yeah,
it feels like
true.
It feels like we have one shot to get it right, because we're playing. I mean, we're playing with the role of humanity inside of the world.
Yeah.
So
we're doing that anyway, though. What about like Well, okay. What about mowing down a row of trees to put a subdivision in?
that's
I
fair.
mean, you're jacking up. You said, I mean,
save the trees.
We exactly. We always draw the line at like, well, that's too far. Well, that's too far. Well, if you get up and get in your car, you're going too far because you're contributing to environmental disaster. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that we either got to draw the line, either go live in a shanty somewhere and live off the land, or put the chip in your brain. There's no in between.
There's no in between.
No, not to me. Dude, I'm gonna be chipped up, man, way before y'all, and I'm gonna be living the dream.
Dude, I feel like there is a scenario in which we check in on Tyler when he's 50 years old, and he is he is fully into red-pilled, chipped up,
Dude.
everything.
But I'm also like the president or something, and you guys are like working at McDonald's or something.
You got Tyler in the Tesla plug-in station. He's just sitting at a gas station getting charged up real quick.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, for real. I would if I could
Like
be
Tom
charged,
Brady commercial.
bro. Like, I basically we basically are AI right now when you think about it. But if I could push a button and become like actual AI and like be charged and all, dude, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Dude, why?
Why not? What does your humanity mean to you?
It means that
You're still gonna have a soul.
but I won't have free will.
Yeah, you will.
How? If something
How
else,
wouldn't you?
if I get hacked for one,
Oh, hey, back to the hacking,
Back-
dude.
it's gonna go
to
back
the
to
hacking.
hacking.
You're not gonna get hacked.
two, I feel like part of the human experience is that like there are things that aren't great.
Of course, and there'll be things that aren't great in the AI world.
Will there? If I can fix them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're never gonna hit like utopia. I mean, there's always gonna be problems, but like for instance, I may be doing something and run out of battery and have to charge myself. You know, there's always gonna be something wrong. But like all that stuff, man, we're constantly moving. We're constantly evolving and going towards like a technological age. But like I don't know, this one may go like 45 minutes, but for you and like because you're Gen Z, we're technically millennials. Like, what do you think about this? Like, where would you say you're like speak for your generation as a whole? No pressure.
Yeah, you
on like
are the
where y'all
spokesperson.
stand on like AI and technology.
I mean, personally, I'm like a do it for me, don't do it to me kind of guy. Like,
Interesting.
Like, I'll take the self-driving cars. I'll take like the automated hotels, like Japan.
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
like, robot hotels, whatever, or like the room service.
Yeah, dude, hotels with no staff. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
They're working on I think maybe it's in Dubai, the first hotel with no staff. Bro, I don't care. I want to play Pong with a monkey. I'm gonna keep
It's
going
always
back
the
to that.
monkey, like-
I'm gonna keep going back to that, dude. I'm telling you. I will send you. I could send y'all videos and articles, and if you watch it, you're like, dude, I want to do that. So, and this may be an unfair comparison, but go back 30 years ago. You had those people who were like, I am never getting a cell phone. The government's not going to track me. No one's going to know where I'm at. Well, look now. I mean, if you don't have one, you're like, everybody has one. I think that's how Neuralink or Neuralink-esque things chip in your brain. I think that's how it's going to be. Like, one thing that Elon Musk said, and this will scare the crap out of y'all, it makes me excited, is that with Neuralink, if Neuralink became mainstream, in 5 years, language would be obsolete. Because we'd be able to use those electrodes to communicate telepathically. Dude, that'd be awesome. Imagine language being obsolete.
I get.
Why, though?
Because I get weird Genesis 11 vibes.
Yeah, well, I understand. Well, okay, that's fair. That's actually fair. But as long as we don't try to build a tower and make a name for ourselves, then we'll be okay. No, I'm with you there, and I think that obviously there are things that it will never come to that. Like I said, we're never going to be utopian. There's always going to be something that comes along. There's always going to be like the battle, and it's always going to go back and forth. There's always going to be two sides. Like no one's ever going to be in agreement all the time.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is like the whole point of the Tower of Babel. All these people had the same vision for their like big empire. I don't think it's ever going to happen. It can.
Yeah, we can't be united over where we eat for dinner.
Dude, exactly. Wherever you're listening to this, like it, subscribe, share it to somebody who you think would be interested in this conversation. Instagram at ILPC Youth, TikTok, ILPC Youth, The Void, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.